So what props do we need today? A bolster would be handy, or a thick pillow or cushion to rest the head or the body on. Maybe a block. Yeah, 2 blocks would be handy actually. And that's it. Well, but the bolster will probably do the job of the blocks as well. So we're actually going to start in child's pose for a rare opportunity. So make yourself comfortable in child's pose. And what I would say is maybe support the head either on that cushion or that bolster, so you could pull the bolster in a little bit, maybe have the blocks underneath so you lift the bolster up a bit. We can, always fill space and bring the props closer to us. So you could put those blocks on their medium level and then place the bolster over the top. So then you can start to bring the body down onto the bolster in your child's pose, and maybe the arms go through and underneath the blocks. And you can turn to the head because we're going to be here for a few minutes. That's it. Yeah, perfect. And you can turn onto the cheek because that's a little bit more comfortable than resting on the forehead. So just settle into your child's pose and make sure it's nice and comfortable, that you can stay. And if you do struggle with the ankles at all here, I did this with my dad as well yesterday, because he used to do child's pose like this with his toes tucked underneath because he struggled to get his ankles flat, and I gave him a rolled up towel or a rolled up blanket to put underneath the ankles, and that solved his little tight toe, tight ankle issues. So just soften, soften, soften. Really letting go of any tightness, any tension you might be holding in the back, in the arms, in the legs. And whilst you're lying there, give all of your weight into your props. Really allow the props to support you and fill that space between you and the earth. Now, practice today is a Lakshmi practice for abundance and gratitude. And just a quote to start off with from Thich Nhat Hanh: "The real miracle of life is not to walk on water or thin air, but to walk on this earth." Lakshmi is known as the goddess of light and abundance. In Sanskrit, Lakshmi means richness and good fortune. She not only symbolizes material wealth, but also a plenitude of the mind, heart, and body's wealth. In the myth of her creation, it is said she arose from the sea as one of the treasures, while the gods were searching for the essence of eternal life, or Amrita. And Lakshmi is depicted as sitting on a lotus flower with coins showering from her hands. She embodies the qualities of fullness, of being replete. And from this abundance comes generosity, a reminder that there is enough for us all. And as you lie here in this child's pose, giving the weight of your body, the weight of your head into your prop, into the earth, feel that abundance and gratitude for yourself, for your mind, your body, and your spirit. And breathe into the heart space. Breathe into the front and the back of the heart space. So you feel the expansiveness of the rib cage opening around the front and back. And you feel the rib cage opening when the lungs fill, out to the sides, into the front, and out to the back. Take a moment here to set an intention for the practice. However you feel today, whatever you come to the mat feeling, that's where we start our practice. Never from yesterday, never from last week, never from last month, always on that particular day. So setting your intention for the practice is how you feel in this moment, right? The right here and the right now. And what intention really just does arise for you under the theme of Lakshmi, under the theme of abundance, gratitude, joy, and compassion. If you had the head one way, just gently lift the head and turn it to the opposite way so that you do get that equal stretch of the neck. Noticing any differences as you just gently turn the head to the opposite side. Allowing the deepness of your exhale to release tension and tightness from the mind and the body. Both coming together as one, never being separate. Just staying in this posture for just a couple more moments, just to allow further rest. If at any point through the practice today you feel that you need to come out of a posture, please do, nice and slowly. Just taking your time to come out and pausing, finding stillness. Take a breath in and a deep sighing breath out. Let everything go even heavier, even deeper. And then as you take your next breath in, lift the head and then exhale, bring the hands out by the side of the body. Gently press into the palms, pull the navel back to the spine and gently roll up through the spine, keeping the chin in towards the chest. You're going to come up to kneeling with the knees out to the sides, finding that length through the spine. And relaxing the shoulders away from the ears, and the head then gently rises up. So you can feel this rooting through the feet and the legs, and this rising through the spine all the way to the crown of the head, and just soften through the facial expression, relaxing through the eyes, the jaw, the teeth, and just give yourself a little smile as the corners of the mouth lightly turn upwards. You can repeat internally or externally our mantra today, Om Mani Padme Hum. Taking a deep breath in, we'll repeat that 3 times. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. And then gently release from the seat. Take your props so that you can then sit in butterfly. So you might just move the blocks and use the bolster to sit on. You might like to kneel, but I'm going to go for butterfly. So sitting facing the front of your mat. We're going to come into our Padma Mudra, which is our lotus mudra. So I'm just going to show you what that is from the front. The heels of the hands come together, the thumbs and the little fingers connect, and all the other fingers are nicely open and spread. So this is like the lotus flower that comes out from the murky depths and displays this beautiful flower where Lakshmi sits. So again, you can sit cross-legged or butterfly, sitting nice and tall, and we bring that Padma Mudra, that lotus mudra, in towards the heart space. And you don't have to keep these fingers too rigid. They can be nice and soft, but just take the gaze from your third eye into the base of the lotus flower. So drop the gaze, drop the head nice and gently. Keep the shoulders resting over the hips. The spine is long, firm, yet relaxed. We're just going to sit here and breathe and just almost imagine and visualize Lakshmi sitting on this lotus flower, the goddess of abundance and gratitude. Slow and steady breaths. Again, breathing into the heart space, front, back, and sides. So all the way around the chest, the rib cage. Inhaling, the body fills. Exhaling, the body relaxes and releases tension. Almost finding this visualization takes you into the Padma Mudra. Wonderful mudra that's held against the Anahata chakra. That brings in joy, happiness, and compassion for yourself, and of course, for others. Lifting the lotus mudra upwards. The fingers reach up towards the sky in front of the face. The gaze lifts, the chest lifts, and at some point the heels of the hands are going to stretch away from one another, and you're going to open the arms out to the side, reaching the fingers away, and then just letting the arms float down to the sides, and they come back in, they scoop in from the earth up back into Padma Mudra. So let's repeat that twice more. Breathing in, lifting up. Lotus goes all the way to the sky, as does the gaze. Exhale, relax and soften. Scoop everything back up from the earth, from the murky depths of the mud, into this beautiful lotus flower. Keep inhaling as you're reaching up, exhaling fully as the arms float down all the way to the scoop. And then last and final time, the hands come back into lotus flower, reaching up to the sky, to the sunshine, and exhaling. The hands float down to the knees. Lift the legs together. Bring the soles of the feet down, and then just gently rest the chest and the heart space down towards the knees and the thighs, letting the head soften down between the knees. Take a moment to breathe here, relaxing into the belly, softening through the shoulders and the head and the neck. And gently roll up through the spine. Come to seated on your mat, and you can push the bolster away back behind you. We're going to come into a half lateral shoelace. Ooh. So the right leg crosses over. Now I'm actually going to face you for this one so that you can see how far to cross over that leg. So try to think of that knee being in line with the hip. So we don't want it all the way across to the other hip. So it's like a half cow face. So that knee crosses over and the foot is active here. And we're actually going to lean towards your front leg, your front foot. So this is where the bolster or the block might come in handy. Again, we've got 3 levels for the block. So you might just place the block there and rest the elbow. And then the top arm reaches up and over. So rest that on top of the head. Now you can just work with the legs and the lateral stretch, or you might like to introduce that arm for the deeper stretch. We are here for a number of minutes, so choose your option. And again, if you don't use the block, you might simply come down towards the mat. Gently breathe into the side body, and that side body comes all the way down from the elbow, right down through the rib cage, down through into the hip, into the waist, and then to the earth and your glute. So softening in as much as you can here. Notice where you feel this. This is not one that we do very, very often. We do cow face or the shoelace, reclined and seated. But never usually with a lateral stretch. Try to keep the rib cage nice and open up towards the sky. It's rolling backwards, if anything, rather than rolling inwards and forwards towards the knee. Relax the fingers on that lifted hand if you've chosen the hand coming over the head, and the arm rests on the head. It isn't being held up in the air. And you might take the gaze to look underneath the armpit, underneath the elbow. And believe me, I can feel this one. Soften into the joints. Go deeper into the connective tissue. Nice and slowly release the top hand, first of all, and then gently use the underneath hand to push you upright. And then that brings the head back in line with the heart. Good. And then extend that leg out in front of you. Just take a gentle forward fold. Heart leads down towards the knees. Just soften through the chest, soften through the head. Notice how the back of the legs feel and also into the glutes. Breathe easy here. Exhaling, letting go deeper. Try not to fight the resistance. Only go as far as the body allows. Nice and slowly roll up through the spine, come all the way back up to that seated position, and then crossing over the opposite leg. And again, that leg doesn't go too far across the body. The knee wants to be nicely in line with the hip, and there's a gentle flexion in that foot that's out to the side of you. Choosing the block or the bolster again, or maybe the hand just simply comes down. Oh, much tighter on this side. Might have to use the block to fill the space. So again, just resting that elbow down, opening up the rib cage, and then reaching the top arm up and over, resting the elbow on top of the head. You can either look forward, you can look down, of course, towards the forearm, or you can open up the gaze underneath that elbow. Noticing the differences as you come into the second side. I certainly do. So breathing into tight areas here, being aware of the joints of the body and also the connective tissue. So softening through the larger muscle groups, meaning the glutes and the hamstrings. Rolling ribcage open. Find the breath here because we're in lateral flexion. Might be a little trickier to breathe fully. Making sure that both sit bones are grounding and the opposite sit bone isn't pulling away from the mat. Nice and slowly take the top arm away first of all. Push yourself up using the hand on the mat. Bring yourself back up, and then the head comes back up into center. We're going to extend those legs once more. And then gently, heart leads, fold the chest forward, pull the navel gently back in towards the spine, and soften through the back of the legs and the back body. Relax the shoulders away from the ears, let the head become heavy. Slowly roll up through the spine to seated, bring the shoulders back up in line with the hips, and then just swing the legs around behind you, come to tabletop. Find a nice gentle cat and cow here. So just mobilize through the spine. Your inhale is your cow and your exhale is your cat. I'm going to come into a melting heart pose, or anahatasana in hatha. Now you have the option to use your block for one of your extended arms. So you can place the left arm underneath or in front, actually. Let's place it in front. So this right arm, the wrists come over the top, and then melting the head down. So you don't have to use the block. You can simply come into that melting heart pose with both arms out in front of you. We're just looking to target down some meridian lines here. Relax through the fingers and the wrist of that extended hand if it's on the block. Melt the chest as much as you can. The head might be on the chin, the forehead, or even on the temple. But think about the hips lifting up towards the sky, pressing down through the shins and the tops of the feet, nice and gentle there. Maybe if the left arm feels it a bit more, you might want to bring the forearm underneath the forehead. So everything's an option here to fill space, basically. Notice where the tightness is coming for you. Where do you feel this posture the most? Front body, back body, arms, chest, shoulders. Slowly coming out of the posture, breathing in, lifting gaze. Bring the left arm back onto the forearm so that you can gently remove that right arm. Just take it back behind you so that you soften into that shoulder. So you can just bring it back by the hip, and you can come into like a one-armed child's pose. So you're just resting, right arm back behind you, left arm forward. Going to the other side, moving the block across. Again, choosing the option of the right arm extending or bending at the elbow, and the hand comes underneath the forehead. So again, the wrist and the arm just rest off of the top of the block. You can bring the head down on forearm, chin, forehead, or temple. So many choices. Exhaling into the other side. Ooh, notice where the tension comes. I can absolutely feel this one in my left shoulder, left side of the chest, the pectorals. Imagine that heart space melting, melting, melting towards the earth. Keeping hips nice and high, feeling that weight, that imaginary weight at your back body, the middle of the back. Slow, long, deep exhales. We're here for just a couple more breaths. Nice and slowly bring the right arm back if it's not already. Push back into that one-armed child's pose. So the left arm comes back to the hip and the right arm can reach forward or underneath the forehead, filling space. Try and soften into that left shoulder, round it around by the knees. And gently bring left arm forward, right arm back. Press through the mat, roll up through the spine to kneeling. Just come to a high kneel. Take your time to bring the head up to avoid any dizziness, but just circle the shoulders up here. So shrug the shoulders up and let them drop down. Shrug up and drop down. And if you like, you can just move them forwards and back, just to release into the shoulder joints. Do what feels good. Good. Let's come down into our prone position here. So coming all the way down onto the belly. Bring the head to the back of the hands and just sway out through the hips. Notice here the chest melts down and towards the mat. Your belly relaxes. Your hips relax, your buttocks relax, and the legs relax. And you can shimmy the hips, and that means that the legs will move gently from side to side, so there's no tension in the feet and the ankles. Let's come into a Sphinx pose here. So arms come out in front of you. Widening the feet as much as is comfortable for the lower back. When the feet are closer together, that's much more compressive into the hips and the pelvis. I have to take them a little bit wider, so you'll know where it feels the most comfortable. Pressing through. Forearms, elbows, and palms of the hands. You're going to pull the shoulders away from the ears. Ears pull away from the shoulders. Facial expression is relaxed and the neck is long and straight in line with the spine. Soften through the facial expression. In this posture, Sphinx pose, the heart radiates its energy forward towards the front of your mat. So if you feel that you're starting to cave, keep pressing away. Again, relax into the facial expression. Give yourself that smile. Everything about these postures is for kindness and compassion to yourself. So never putting yourself into any place of pain or risk of injury. Dropping pubic bone, dropping hips, lifting chest. Energy through the upper body, relaxed through the lower body. Just here for a few more moments. And nice and gently press into the palms as you lift the elbows, widening them out to the sides and rolling down through the rib cage. Bring the head to the back of the hands, bring the big toes to touch. Exhale and just gently sway out and relax everything here. Give all of your body weight into your mat. And from here, if you're okay to do so, depending on where you are facing the screen, if you're sideways on, that's good. You can simply roll over onto your back. So threading through an arm and just bring yourself onto your back from there. Take time to just realign yourself in the center. Make sure the shoulders are nicely spread and gently draw the knees in towards the chest. Keep the space free of the heart channel and the abdomen, so not crushing into the organs there, but keeping the knees nice and wide. And you can simply rock from side to side, massaging into the lower back, into the waist, into the rib cage, and into the shoulders. So just giving the back a good old massage. I'm going to come into a reclined twist, and you can use bolsters and blocks here if you like. So I'm going to use a block. And one block between my legs, actually. I'm going to use a thinner block, but if you don't have a thin block, you can use one of the bricks. So we're going to shift the hips over to the right side. We're going to drop the knees over. And then if you like, that block can rest underneath the knee. Make sure the corners don't dig in. Again, if you've got the bolster handy, you can use that. I'm going to simply slide that thinner block between there so that I'm not putting a load of effort into my right leg. And I'm going to gently open up my chest, open up my arms, and come into a nice, soft, relaxed twist here. So again, just making sure that you fill the space that you need to, and nothing's really digging in anywhere. The arms could be in cactus, that's okay too, or down by the side of the body, which makes the posture a little less intense. Cactus is your most intense arms. And again, if the gaze goes up to the sky and that feels comfortable, you might lift the head, turning the chin to look towards your right palm. So now soften into this rotation, reclined twist. Gently trying to pull the right shoulder blade downwards. If you feel that it's way away from the mat, you might need to just reshuffle so that you can gently bring that right shoulder blade a little bit further, a little bit closer down towards the mat. Noticing where you feel the twist, the rotation, the stretch, your edge. Breathe deep into the rib cage, into the abdomen, into the front and back of the body. Breathing in to bring the head back into center. Breathe out for a moment. Then gently bring the arms down by the hips to push yourself back up into the center. Take the blocks away that you have. Realign through the hips and the pelvis. Take the feet wide. Drop the knees together. Constructive rest. Just notice how you feel as you come out of that twist. And then shifting everything over to the opposite side of your mat, so to the right side. Heel toe the feet into parallel. Lift the hips and just shift them over to the left. And then dropping the knees down onto the block or bolster. And again, using anything to really fill the space between those knees so that one's not kind of holding up in the air or hanging in the balance. And then just finding that option of the arms wherever they need to be, cactus, straight out in a T or down by the hips, but really lift up and pull that left shoulder blade downwards. Again, choosing to introduce the head and the neck, you lift the head up, turning the chin to look along that left arm. And it's okay, you do not have to have the twist in the neck as well. You can always look towards the sky. As you begin to soften into the second side, always being aware and noticing any imbalances, differences, any different tight areas that you didn't experience on the other side, or is it fairly similar? It's not really a comparison, it's just an observation. Remembering to give yourself that full inhale and full exhale as much as you can in the rotation through the spine and into the organs. Taking a deep breath in, bringing the head back into center. Exhaling there and then bringing the hands down by the side of the body and lifting the legs up, bringing them back in, taking away those props, moving them out of the way, and taking that constructive rest as you realign shoulders, spine, hips. Notice your response as you come out of the posture. And then gently draw the knees in towards the chest once more. Give that space down the central channel from sternum, heart, solar plexus, and the belly. And just rock and roll from left and right. And if you like, you can start to just circle the knees around, again, giving yourself a good massage. So let's come into our supported fish. Now, your choice here is that you can use the blocks or you can use a bolster with a block. I'm going to go with blocks. So I'll give you an option. You can have the block lengthways underneath the shoulders, or you can have it along the spine. So straight down the spine or across the back of the shoulders. The block at the back will be on the highest level for your head. Or you could choose a comfortable option with the bolster, of course, and put a block just at the top of the bolster there to support the head and the neck. Good. So as you start to come into supported fish pose, you choose where the legs go. You might like to just leave them all the way along the mat in a wide shavasana legs, making sure that the hips just gently open and relax out to the sides. There's no holding the legs in place, relaxing through the ankles and the feet. Or you might like to take that Baddha Konasana, Supta Baddha Konasana, reclined butterfly, soles of the feet come together. And gently closing the eyes, relaxing through the forehead, the temples, the jaw, the teeth. There's that little smile as the corners of the mouth just gently turn up. And you can soften through the throat, the chest. And you feel the rib cage molding itself around whatever prop you've chosen, whether it's the blocks or the bolster. Giving as much weight into those props as you can. And in this posture, particularly as this is a back opener, it's a passive back extension, using gravity over the props, is that you are in a heart opener. So draw your focus in towards the front body where the heart space lies. And really just draw into your own intention, that one of abundance, gratitude, joy, and compassion, self-love, self-care. And reminding yourself of our deity, Lakshmi, the goddess of wealth and abundance, doesn't just come from material wealth, but it comes from the mind, body, and heart wealths. We're here for just a few more moments. Breathing deep into the rib cage. Exhaling fully, letting go even further. To come out of the posture, take the hands to the thighs. If you had reclined butterfly, lifting the legs together first of all, placing the soles of the feet down. Then we bring the hands by the side of the body. Try and draw the elbows underneath the shoulders, palms are face down, and just press into those to lift the gaze. Looking along the body, you're going to still feel that openness across the chest and the shoulders. And then nice and gently, you're going to press through the hands, rolling over onto a hip and taking the blocks or the bolster away. Slowly roll down all the way into Shavasana. Feel each and every vertebra connecting towards the mat and feeling that place where you had those props now not being there, and you can spread out in that pentacle shape. Feet nice and wide, arms nice and wide, shoulders spread wide, chest open, heart open. If you need to, again, draw the knees in, keep that space between the front channel of the body, rocking, rolling, massaging through the areas where the props were, shoulders, upper back, middle back. And then last posture is legs either up against the wall. If you've got a wall close to you, you can shuffle to. If you don't, you can simply place a bolster or a block, and the block can be on its lowest or its medium height, and that's then placed underneath your sacrum. So we're not there for long, so you don't have to go away from the screen too much. Spread the shoulders out, arms again might come into cactus, and then you take your time making sure that you're nice and stable there with that prop underneath you, lifting up one leg at a time. So I'm just coming to supported shoulder stand really with my legs up in the air. And if you've got a wall by you, that's even better. So here we feel all of that energy coming down from the feet through the ankles, through the calves, into the knees, into the upper thighs, backs of the legs, into the buttocks, and then down into the hips. And then that then continues down through the digestive organs, into the heart, and then into the chest, neck, and face. Keeping the head nice and still, not turning the head left and right, but looking up towards the sky, closing the eyes if you wish, or gazing at the toes. And when we gaze at the toes, it's not a, oh, I need a pedicure gaze. It's a drishti gaze, a focus towards a single point. And that gaze might just blur out, or you close the eyes and find that inner drishti coming from your third eye, the Ajna chakra, this center of the eyebrows. Noticing the breath as this is an inversion. So the head is higher, the head is lower than the heart. Not a posture for everybody. If you start to feel any dizziness, you can always gently come out, dropping the knees down to the side and staying in that embryo on your side. To come out of the posture, if you've got the legs straight up the wall, you might just bend at the knee and just bring the legs over to one side. If you didn't quite make it to the wall, you simply lower the feet down into a supported bridge. And just stay on your side there for a moment if you've had the legs up against the wall. No rush to go anywhere. If you're in the supported bridge, take the block away and gently roll down through the spine. So that is all of our yin postures for this evening. We are going to make our way into final relaxation in Shavasana. So with the least amount of effort to get there, make sure you're nice and warm and you're super comfortable, super supported. Blankets, bolsters, eye pillows, blocks under the head if you like. But just coming into your final relaxation, moving away anything that is going to touch your hands or your feet at this point, and coming into a nice, again, big, spacious pentacle. Taking the feet to the wider edges of your mat, again, relaxing into the hips, not holding the legs in place. Softening the head, the face, the shoulders, and the arms are gently out to the side with the palms face up and the fingertips are softly curling inwards. And the practice today of Lakshmi, of abundance and gratitude, is a formal recognition of what we already have. And studies have shown that a regular gratitude practice ushers us towards a deeper appreciation of our life. We also gain a greater understanding of what is valuable and important. And a gratitude practice reminds us that we are being loved and we are being cared for, not just by ourselves, but by others. And that we already have everything we need to live a beautiful life as we start to remember the simple things, the gift of breath, the preciousness of life, of family, and by getting rooted in what we already have. Leave you for a few minutes of personal silence and stillness, calm and peace. Try to remain present during this time, not let yourself get distracted, but be present with your own abundance and gratitude. I'll let you know when it's time to come back around. And begin to take a few deeper breaths now as you bring your awareness back into your space, into your surroundings, onto the mat. Take time to bring movement back into the body, wiggling fingers, toes, stretching and drawing the knees in. And before you come back up to seated, just roll over to one side. Again, that comforting posture, lying on the side. Just a short reading here. Drop your energy into your physical heart. Feel its beat, reminding you of the preciousness of life. Feel within the natural constellation of energy, the cells, the blood, all nourishing, feeding and healing you. Picture the stars, the sun and the moon, the outer phosphorescence of life, the wonders of this world, all working in harmony to sustain your life. Have a sense of your freedom, that you are able to think, to speak, to create or express, and feel the love moving in and out of you, a quiet inward gratitude for your life. Returning to seated, let's come to our Padma Mudra, our lotus flower mudra. Bring the thumbs in towards the heart, the heels of the hands connected. Take the gaze gently down inside the depths of that beautiful flower. Give yourself a smile, a big warming breath into the lungs, and a big sigh out, exhaling. Take note and remind yourself of your own intention for practice today, to find abundance and gratitude within your own life, and to share that with others as you move through the rest of your week. Always thank yourself, and I most certainly thank you all. Namaste.